wave of athletes that can focus on the sprints, that develop differently, that maybe make a comeback, to be honest. Like, there are a few big stars, more internationally, but you never know, maybe a couple of Canadians that decide that they want to give this one a go because they can give this event a focus that they wouldn't have been able to give it before. So this is just the start. But for Taylor Ruck, we haven't seen her swim butterfly internationally ever. Maybe a 50 way back, but for her to be able to have this event on her World Championship roster will be fun and a new challenge. But I think a couple of years from now, maybe it's not just fun. Maybe it is something she chooses to focus on.
Starts excelling at it again. Los Angeles 2028, 6 more medal events are going to be added to the agenda. And time for our award ceremonies. We go to the podium, beginning with the A final. Kylie Mass, third. Expect her to out first.
And I'll take a moment to brag about Kylie as she gets ready to walk out here, but truly one of the champions of this women's swimming program, has been on the podium internationally since the Rio Olympics every single year. She's been a backstroke ace. She's been a relay reliable athlete. She's been such a great leader for this program and an athlete that everyone looks up to. I talked to Ingrid Willem earlier today, actually, and she said her biggest inspiration was Kylie Moss, and now they have the chance to be peers and race each other almost every year at least, but every few months, which is really special. So Kylie will take the bronze here in the 50 fly. Mateja Jigovic in second place here, just shy of Taylor's mark there, only separated by 5/100ths of a second, 26:52. Killarney Swim Club, like I said, next year heading to the University of Tennessee.
Yeah, Taylor Ruck, you just gushed about, 26:47.
And Taylor's been on the national team as well since back in Rio 2016 when she was really doing what Penny Alexiak was doing as well, swimming all the relays, swimming individually really strong. She was one athlete that we always relied on. So it's great to see her back in great form. I know she's had some ups and downs over the years, but she's been on top of the podium a couple times this week and seems to have a great perspective on the sport, having fun, doing well. Great champion there in Taylor Ruck. And she's a champion tonight in the women's 50 fly.
It takes a lot to get fired up in a 50-meter. Your heart has to already be pounding before you get in the water, and you have to be ready to go. What goes on in the ready room before a 50-meter?
Lots of activating. I would say the men are often just slapping their arms and trying to wake themselves up almost, shaking out a lot of jumping up and down. Although I'm peeking into the ready room right now, and there's nobody moving. So I don't love the look of that, but one of my questions for a lot of people is like, what do you do in the ready room? A lot of people like to stay quiet. Others like to chat. Others like to put music blaring in their headphones. And some people do like a breathing routine. I talked to Finley Knox a bit about his breathing routine. So there's something for everyone, I will say that. But for a 50, you got to be moving around a little bit because you got to wake your body up. As you said, the second you touch the water, even the second that the gun goes off or that whistle blows, you got to be lively and ready to go.
You also, no Summer McIntosh watch for you, though, tonight.
No Macintosh watch for me. No Macintosh watch for anyone. But she is in the building. Yeah. She was signing some autographs earlier. She's been such a champ all week, and she's going to be around for the team announcement later.
There's a second place of Molly Barber, in third Claire Watson here, and 27:43 time for Molly Barber. Really pushed hard and was leading as Mateja Jigovic takes gold here with that 26:52 time. And speaking of those autographs, even on opening day, the lineup for the autographs here, just the reception that Victoria has been giving the swimmers, it's just been so outstanding to see for Swim Canada and just how this sport is growing.
Oh, absolutely. And a meet like this, as much as, we take it, we've never taken it for granted, but you also, when you call a bunch of different world records, it almost starts to you don't really let it set in every time the way it did the first time. But for a lot of these people, every kid that's in here on any selected night, it might be their first time, which is really special. So soaking in those moments, and with that, we're going to have a quick commercial and then get ready for the men's 50 fly. To welcome the finalists in the men's 50 fly. Well, in the 100 fly this week, we watched a thrilling duel between Leandro and Haroon, but no Josh here. Ilya comes in as the large favorite. We are officially on Canadian record watch because he is the current Canadian record holder. That time stands at a 23:09. Now he's been very close to it. He was phenomenal this morning. I would say he was pretty much on record pace, so lots of eyes on lane 4. He looks so smooth. Knox in 5 qualified for Worlds in the 200 IM already this week. He's given this 50 a go. And then we have Eric Ginsberg in 3. He swims at York University. He won 4 events at U Sports this year, the 50 fly being one of them, where he set the U Sport record in this very event.
And they're off for the A final of the men's 50-meter butterfly. Haroon missed his Canadian record this morning by 7/100ths of a second, as you mentioned, spot on, and he is off to an early lead here in lane number 4. Knox in 5, and in 3 is Ginsberg, but outside in lane number 8 is Justice Mignot making a big push here, but Haroon looking to make it to the wall first by half a body length, and he is in at 22:68. That is a new record. Ilya Haroon demolishes his previous record. The Canadian record holder, Ilya Haroon, 22:68 is your time. And coming in at second place is Finley Knox in lane number 5.
And that Canadian record performance for Ilya Haroon is the fastest time in the world this year. Ilya Haroon, I thought you were going to drop a 10th or 2, but not a whole half a second. Phenomenal performance there for Ilya. We knew he was looking good as of this morning, but now he's officially put himself in contention to stand on top of the podium potentially at the World Championships this summer. He is loving his power this year. He used to be known for being a 200 butterflyer, and in the NCAA program, he swims at Arizona State University. He's really built up the 100, and then he even more built up this 50. He's always been strong in the relays, but it's been phenomenal to watch his growth. Congratulations on a new Canadian record, Ilya Haroon. Wow, that was phenomenal. A massive chunk of time. A half a second in a 50 is like 25 seconds in a 1500, which we are going to get to later, so don't go anywhere, but it's hard to put that one into words. That was phenomenal. We'll hear what he thinks of it with Chris Heinmark-Watson.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're standing here with Ilya Haroun, new Canadian record in the men's 50 butterfly. So Ilya, Canadian record, first Canadian man ever under 23, number 8 all time in the history of the event, and the fastest time in the world so far this year. What else can be said?
Nothing much, except we got to keep pushing till that number 1.
There you go. You're going to keep working on this event to get faster and faster. 23.6, a huge drop off your PB and best time, obviously. What did you focus on tonight to get under that 23-second mark?
I think definitely getting my tempo more so that it's like faster, kind of like freestyle tempo, but translated into fly. And that's pretty much like what I tried to work on tonight.
So to get to that number 1, which you're number 1 in the world this year so far heading into Singapore, what are you going to work on with your coaches between now and Singapore, specifically for the 50?
I think tempo and then having like that length into that tempo, I believe. I think that's probably the key.
Well, congratulations. Ilya Haroun, ladies and gentlemen, number 1 in the world this year.
Yeah, Fiddly Knox in his second at 23.59, and Eric Ginsberg came in at third, but you don't often see that when the field is so tight in a 50-meter at that level to be that at least half a body length ahead of everybody else. And it just starts with his leap into the pool, just exploding in and just having an early lead.
Yeah, that's one of the strongest parts of Ilya Haroun's skill set is his power off the blocks. Right now we're welcoming out our junior finalists in the 50 fly.
The men's 50-meter junior butterfly underway. Amaral lane 4, Hibbert lane 5. And really tight so far. Nobody pulling away as of yet as they plow through the water here in the 50-meter butterfly. Maybe lane number 8 is Shari could be advancing, and it looks like Amaral in lane 4. Making a pull for lane number 3, though, is Maxime Cameron to take it at 24.71. That's 2/200ths of a second over the Aqua J time. Lucas Amaral at 24.96 and Samuel Hibbert third at 25.02.
And there we see our official results of the junior final. Parker DeHaze has had a busy week of competition. I think we've seen him in every other event, pretty much, at least all the flies, backs, and some of the freestyles. Hopefully he's done his program. And now we get set for the B final. Special shout out, lane number 7, Kissel the Missile, one of our longtime national team members, one of the best sprinters Canada has ever seen. I don't think I've ever seen him swim butterfly, so this will be fun. Known for his freestyle prowess.
30-year-old with a prelim time of 25.15.
We're getting a show. So Blake Tierney in the B final, he did tell us he was going to do this, but he is going to swim the Mark Spitz 50 fly. So no goggles, no cap. You're supposed to have a mustache. I'm not sure in the last 2 days if he's grown a mustache, but he's got a Speedo, a brief. He's out in lane number 1. I don't know if you can see him, but no cap, no goggles.
He's going to be squinting.
He promised on night 1 he wanted to do this, and he's doing just that.
And they're underway in the B final in the men's 50-meter butterfly. Surfacing in the lead is Ali Sid in lane number 4. And he is your early leader. Will he be able to hang on and fight off his competitors here, as it is a mad dash down to the final few strokes, and it is touching first to the wall. Ali Syed is at 24:40. McDonald in second, 24:59, and with a time of 24:67 is Gabriel Tieda.
Blake Tierney with a big fist bump too. He's having some fun out there, which I think I said this when he said he might do this. Sometimes you do need to bring the joy into the sport and not make it so serious. The beat final, of course, they could not qualify for any events out of this final. So he's out there having fun, qualified in the 50 backstroke and the 200 backstroke. Now he's enjoying the moment here with a big fist bump. And I said I'd never seen Yuri swim butterfly. I will agree with that statement now that I watched it, because that stroke looked zero familiar to me. But he finished 5th there in the beat final, Cascade Swimming. Trains with Tierney out at High Performance Center, Vancouver. Ali Syed, as mentioned, wins the B final. One of our international athletes here competing, swims at Camo, who's having a phenomenal night. Mary Sophie Harvey with the win in the 200 free, and then Antoine Sauvé with a Canadian record in the B final. Great stuff.
Kissel, 30 years old, 31.
Yeah,
No,
30.
Yeah, 95. I've got. Is that really 30 years ago?
He's a 29 listed on the eat sheet, so I don't think he's had his birthday yet.
Ah, that's it. It's in his 30th year.
In his 30th year,
We'll go with that.
absolutely. Well, he's getting there.
Got the podium coming up for our 50-meter butterfly. Beginning with the A final, and Ilya Haroun. We'll get another look at him as he sets that record at 22:68. Record that he set in May in Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah, half a second off that mark. He did go under 23 seconds, but it was in a 50 freestyle, so it did not count. If anyone's wondering, you can choose to swim any stroke when it is a freestyle event, but the time counts as a freestyle time. So he knew he could get under 23, but I think it was all about putting together the race when it mattered, and tonight it mattered, and tonight he put together the race. Bronze medal there, Eric Ginsberg from Ramac Aquatic Hub, and like I mentioned, swims out of York University. U Sport record holder in this event, short course. 23:76, his final time.
It's a pretty good time.
It is, it's phenomenal. And Finley Knox will be up next. Okotoks Mavericks and High Performance Center, Vancouver. Just 2 100 slower than what he went in the preliminaries. 23:59, Finley Knox. He is going to World Championships this summer to swim the 200 IM. Potentially they'll throw him on a few relays. He didn't swim the 200 here tonight or the 100 earlier in the program, but very likely he would be considered. And Ilya Haroun, the Canadian record in this event, places him as the top time in the world this year, and he's 8th all-time performer. So we're not just talking about a small feat there. That was a world-class performance there for Haroun, and almost a body length on the rest of the field in a very short race.
Give him another 10 meters and you might have been.
Honestly, this gets me really excited for his 100 because, like I said, he started as a 200 specialist. He's worked a lot on his power and speed. His 50 is obviously where it needs to be. I think this summer we're going to see him get under that 50-second mark. He was just shy of doing it a few days ago.
Just also shows, like with Finley Knox, just how consistent he is with the times. It just comes with those reps over and over, and knowing your repetitions and your pacing as you're going through the water to hit to within 2 100ths of a second in back-to-back swims. Pretty telling about how much time he's put in.
For sure. And we get set now for our junior finalists. Unfortunately, none of the entrants got under the junior standard. Samuel Hibbert from Ajax will take the bronze medal in a 25:02. Talk about fast reaction times. He was off the block in 0.54, which anything under 6 is quite phenomenal. So that's a really, really strong power for somebody that's still only a teenager. So great to see. And Lucas Amaral from Newmarket Stingrays getting under 25 seconds. Great, because this morning he was just at the 25.08, so any athlete's always trying to get under those second barriers. 24.96 his time, and Maxime Cambron will take the gold from CNQ, 24.71. Well, congratulations to our junior medalists in the men's 50 butterfly. Hopefully they're done with their program. I would like to assume it, because the only other event tonight is 800 free for the men, and I doubt the 50 fly and the 800 free is a solid double, but I'd love to see it happen. With that, we'll send it to commercial before our first para event of the evening.
Red Bull gives you wings.
With the taste of white peach. The new Red Bull Summer Edition. Wings for your summer.
And welcoming the championship final in the para women's 50 backstroke. Well, one of my highlights this week is watching the joy on Ali Van Wyksmart's face when she's got her headphones on and she's rocking, walking out for these championship finals. She's a two-time Paralympian, and she'll have lane number 3. She was pretty close to the Canadian record mark this morning, so we are going to be on record watch yet again. In lane 4, Allison Gobet swims in the S5 category, member of the 2023 Para Pan Am Games team. And in lane 5, Jordan Tucker, last night's winner in the 150 multi-class individual medley, set a Canadian record in the S550 fly a few days ago. And I'll tell you, I got to see her up in the stands earlier tonight. She said, last one, fast one. She was so pumped up about getting a race. And it brought me another, like I said, Ali just brought me joy. Getting to chat with Jordan brought me so much joy. So we'll be cheering them all on. Only 3 athletes entered in this event. It's only swum by S2 through S5. I know they're excited to race, and they're going to leave it all in the pool as this is their final event of these trials.
Yeah, the para women 50-meter backstroke mixed category about to take place. They start in the water. And they're underway with Wyksmart in lane 3, Allison Gobet in lane 4, and Jordan Tucker in lane number 5.
And Jordan Tucker, like I said, has been breaking records all week. The Canadian record in the S4 backstroke is a 57.07 by Joelle Rivard. It has stood since 2005, so it's definitely one of the older ones. S3 Canadian record, like I mentioned, Ali Van Wyksmart is within reach of that one. She swims for Whitby Swimming, and the current Canadian record holder in that event is Nikita Enns at a 1:08.48. Now, just like all the other para events, we have to keep an eye on the para points. They're seeded by lane based on their speed alone, but then they're calculated based on the para points with their classification. So to learn about who is on the podium, we will have to keep an eye on the para points.
And first to touch the wall and fastest in the pool, Allison Gobet in the S5 category, time of 58.77, good for 516 points. Jordan Tucker touches next at 105.40 with 647 points, and Ali Van Wyksmart 735 points at 108.64. That is just 0.02 of a second off the Canadian para record.
0.2 of a second. The Canadian record is a 108.48. Yeah, so about 0.2 of a second. That was a really strong swim, though, for Ali Van Wyk-Smart. Gets her up there with 735 para points. She'll take the gold medal here in the multi-class 50-meter backstroke. Second place will be Jordan Tucker with 647 para points, and Allison Gobet will be third in 532 para points. And Jordan Tucker dropping a couple tenths off her time from the morning as well. Allison Gobet just a little bit off of what she went this morning.
Yeah, just 16 100ths of a second off of that time for Ali Van Wyk-Smart. A good solid swim here this evening in the final day number 6 of the 2025 Bell Canadian Swimming Trials. Again, I'm Marlon Martins. I'm in for Jason Pratt, who could not be here tonight, but luckily you still have Brittany McLean. And it's been a long week, but I saw a lot of smiles along the pool coming in, everybody talking about how it's the wrap-up day. This is one big final hurrah, but I think everyone's just running on fumes at this point. It takes a lot to put on a big event like this, and volunteers as well, but what a showcase it's been, and a lot of hard work put on by everybody here in these 6 days.
Yeah, it's been phenomenal, from the volunteers to the staff to the fans to the athletes to the coaches. It really does take an army of people to make an event like this happen, and it's all for great performances like we're witnessing. Already 3 Canadian records on the day, 2 on the night so far with Antoine Sauvé and Ilya Haroun. Tyson Jacob coming up next, set 1 in the preliminaries. We'll get to that soon, but first we have an interview poolside.
All right, Victoria, we're down with Ali Van Wyk-Smart. Ali, a 108.64 here tonight, just off the Canadian record in your classification.
Yeah, I wanted that very badly, but I'll take a PB.
You'll have other opportunities, I'm sure, to swim it. Now, is this one of your favorite events?
I'm definitely a backstroker, so yes, definitely.
And have you enjoyed your time here in Victoria? This is the end of a great 6 days.
Yeah, it's been fast and long and tiring, and I'm ready to go to bed.
Well, congratulations, Ali Van Wyk-Smart, ladies and gentlemen, your champion in the 50 backstroke here tonight.
Tired and ready to go to bed. Yeah, that's probably hungry too. Throw it out there. Swimmers work up quite the appetite. We have the Paramen 50-meter backstroke coming up. Still on the docket for later. After that will be the Para Women's 100-meter backstroke, the men's 100-meter.
Tyson Jacob will be our sole entrant here, and as I started to tease a few moments ago, he set the Canadian record this morning, a time of 45:23. Another great interview post-race, whether it was yesterday or the day before, but he was really just having a ton of fun with this crowd. He said, he doesn't always know where he's going to be at, but setting Canadian records is always enjoyable. He crushed that Canadian record, the previous standard, by over a second. And he also set a Canadian record yesterday in the 200 IMSM5. Phenomenal stuff we're getting to watch here in Victoria, and we'll see what he's able to do tonight. That Canadian record, as I said, a 45:23. That's the time we're going to have to watch out for. See if he can get under it. The MQS standard for his classification is a 41:12, so he's a little bit off of that, but you never know what he can do with the crowd getting behind him here.
And underway, the Paramen 50-meter backstroke with Tyson Jacob, our only entrant. As they are mentioning over the PA about that record that he set this morning.
And we saw him in the 200 IM yesterday, which is 4 whole laps down the pool. Today he only has to go 1. So you can see the power he's moving through the water with. Lots of white water. His legs are moving strong, as is his arm.
It is max effort here for Tyson Jacob. Unrelenting. Oh, look at the rhythm that he is in as he powers his way to the finish. Look at the clock. 45:57. Just 3/10 of a second above his mark this morning, which was the new Canadian record.
Well, he's still the Canadian record holder and 2 times better than he's ever done before, all within one day. You have to be happy with that performance. Tyson Jacob, congratulations. Like I said, the time from this morning, like you said, the time from this morning was just about 0.3 off, but that's still the Canadian record, and he hit 581 para points with that performance. Swims in the S5 category. Congratulations to Tyson. We'll hear from him shortly on how he thinks about that, what he has to say with Chris Heinmark-Watson.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're on deck with your winner, Tyson Jacob, in the 50 backstroke here tonight. Canadian record this morning, just off that here tonight, but you got to be pretty happy with the day's accomplishments.
Yes, I'm pretty happy to do the record this morning. This afternoon, I didn't make it, but at least I'm not too long to my record, so I'm pretty proud of myself.
What's next for you after here in Victoria? It's been a great 6 days of racing. Go back, work with your coaches, and get ready for what's coming up next.
I hope I'm going to the world with my time. My coaches work hard with me, and we keep grinding with the swimming.
We got to wait on those selections for the World Para Swimming Championships. Hopefully you're going to be on that list. Congratulations, Tyson Jacob, winner tonight in the 50 back.
Up next will be the para women mixed class category for the 100-meter backstroke, followed by the men. Emma Van Dyck will be in the pool as well in lane 5, who set a Canadian record in May of 2024 in Toronto at the time of 1:10.99.
Gearing up for the podium of the 50 backstroke multi-class. Women will be first. The bronze medalist, Allison Gobet, walking up now. She'll get into the screen shortly. And there she is. We'll take the bronze medal here. Her time of 58.10, 532 para points. And the silver medalist here from Royal City Aquatics, Jordan Tucker. Like I said, she made my day when we were chatting upstairs about how excited she was to race tonight. Swims in the S4 category, time 105.40, 647 para points.
Yeah, with a time of 108.64, Ali Van Wyksmart. Again, the 50-meter backstroke women's final in the para mixed category. And again, 108.48 was the record, and she swam 108.64.
And they've got their rubber duckies on the podium with them. I said last night, Jordan and Ali Van Wyksmart passed each other something on the podium, and I said, what is that? But it was definitely that red rubber ducky. And they have glowing smiles, super proud, and as exactly what Ali said after. Now she's had a great week, but now she's ready to get to bed. She's tired and ready to move on. I love it.
It's setting trends. Look at that. Soon more will have rubber duckies on their head, tucked in the headphones. That's a cool look. Again, they're pool peeps from the Chicken Farmers of Canada.
And now we'll get set to welcome our sole competitor in the men's 50 backstroke, Canadian record holder, Tyson Jacob. What a swim that was this morning. Drops a full second off his previous best time. Tyson coming to the podium now. Those are cool team shirts.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah, quite a pattern.
As he poses for a quick photo op here.
Proud coach. And like you said, with his pool peep, not sure his suit matches his shirt, but it's a problem for another day.
I think anything goes these days.
We'll throw to commercial quickly. And we're welcoming out our women's multi-class 100-meter backstroke final. And there you have it, our finalists featured by five Paralympians are represented in this heat. Hunsaker, Jibb, Cosgriff, Van Dyck, and Doris. Emma Van Dyck in 5, as you mentioned, is the S14 Canadian record holder in this event. Her best time is a 1:10.99. Katie Cosgriff placed 5th at the Paris Paralympics in this race, and she swims collegiately at Laurier University. This is her first year. She talked the other day about adjusting to full-time school and swimming. She was the OUA swimmer of the meet at those championships and comes in with a best time of 1:08.52, so she's definitely within reach here tonight. This is your final in the multi-class women's 100-meter backstroke.
And underway, the para women 100-meter backstroke mixed category. Now there are some that are in the same category. Hunsaker in S10 as well as Cosgriff and Sophie Wood. And Mary Jibb and Ali Deal are in the S9. They share that category here in this race as we're approaching the 50-meter wall. And with the lead in lane number 4 right now is Jamie Cosgriff. She'll touch first in the turn. Cosgriff with a time of 33.05. Emma Van Dyck in at 34.81. And in at third is Mary Jibb.
Yeah, so actually Ruby Stevens was the first alternate and got scratched into this event. It looks like Maxine Levitt decided to scratch, and that's why Ruby got lane number 6. But keep an eye right now back on Katie Cosgriff having a great swim in lane number 4.
And she will touch first here in the 100-meter backstroke, the para women's mixed category, and with a time of 1:08.26. And look at that, 1,010 points for Jamie Cosgriff. Emma Van Dyck at 908 points with a 1:12.24, and Mary Jibb at 931 points with a time of 1:13.74.
And that's a personal best time there for Katie Cosgrave, so faster than what she went in the Paralympic final. That's got to feel pretty good for this time of the year. And as you mentioned, over 1,000 para points on that swim.
And now we're making in at, we also have Sophie Wood with 839 points. 117.72. Ellie Deal in the S9 category, 718 points. Daniel Doris, 918 points.
It was competitive to get on the podium, that is for sure. Daniel Doris with 943 will take the silver. It looks like Mary Jibb will take the bronze medal with 931, and that is the way they finish.
Cosgrave, 1,010 points. Doris in second, 943, and then in third place, Mary Jibb with 931, but 4 over the 900-point mark in this race.
And it looks like Emma Van Dyck will be down to chat with Chris Heinmark-Watson momentarily.
Finishing 4th overall, but your time tonight for your classification under the MQS standard puts you in a really good spot to hopefully be picked to go to Singapore with the para team. You must be pretty happy.
I'm pretty happy with that race. I tried all my best to do as best as I could. Not the time I wanted, but still under the MQS.
You've been having a great week here in Victoria. It's coming to an end tonight. Anything you want to say to these fans who have been here all week with us?
Just thank you so much for cheering me on, cheering the whole swimmers around. It was just an amazing experience.
Well, congratulations, and we'll look for your name when we hear those selection calls later on tonight and next week as well. Congratulations. Your winner tonight, your winner, 4th place overall, but under the MQS standard, very important for selection, Emma Van Dyck.
And now we get set for the final of the men's multi-class 100-meter backstroke. And there you have our finalists in the multi-class para 100-meter backstroke. This event is swum by categories classifications, S2 and then S6 through 14. It should be a very close race of the Nicks. So Nick Bennett will have lane number 4 and Turbide will have lane number 5. Reed Maxwell has been on Canadian record watch all week. 108.86 is his mark. He'll be out in lane 7. He had the highest amount of para points this morning, but their lanes are assigned just based solely off time. So that's why he's out in lane number 7. Then there's Turbide, like I mentioned, a 3-time Paralympian. He has lane number 5. He's the 2022 S13 world champion in this event. More recently focused just on the 50 freestyle, but it's great to see him as a Canadian record holder in this event contesting here. And another Canadian record holder in lane number 4, Nick Bennett, swims in the S14 category. Watch out as well for Fernando Liu in lane number 3. He's pretty much gone a lifetime best in every race he's swum this week.
And we're off. The multi-class paramen's 100-meter backstroke. 3 swimmers with setting records in this group. In lane 5, Nicholas Turbide with the early lead in the backstroke. Again, it is the 100-meter. And contending is Nicholas Bennett from Parksville, just up the island, now training out of Red Deer.
And Bennett's going to try to definitely close on Turbide over in lane number 5. They were only separated by 1/10 of a second in the preliminary.
Yeah, and 3/10 here as Nicholas Turbide in the lead in lane 5. Nicholas Bennett in lane 4. In 3 is Fernando Liu, as you mentioned and alluded to, with 31.37. And right now it is Turbide. Can Bennett catch him as we approach the midway point in the final length here in the men's 100-meter backstroke? Nicholas Turbide is not relenting. In fact, gaining on Bennett as they come down the final few meters here and touching the wall first as Bennett pushes, but it will be Nicholas Turbide at 101.74, 940 points. Nicholas Bennett at 102.40 and 909, and Fernando Liu 902 in points.
And that's a Canadian record for Nicholas Bennett in the S14 category. He shaves just 9 100ths off his previous Canadian record mark. So congratulations, the records continue to fall. Nick Bennett is now gone a best time, and a best time for him is a Canadian record. Reed Maxwell just shy of his Canadian record, only missed that by 0.2 of a second. Like I said, we've had to keep Record Watch alert all week with Reed Maxwell. Just off it here. The winner of the event, though, Reed Maxwell, 952 para points. Second place will be Nick Turbide in 940 para points. And then Nick Bennett will take the bronze medal here and the Canadian record in a time of 102.40. Well, congratulations to all of the finalists there in the multi-class 100 backstroke. We'll get set for our interview. It looks like Fernando Liu is making his way over to Chris Heinmark-Watson.
Fernando, coming off of Paris last summer and looking to qualify for your first senior worlds team, you've swum in this pool probably hundreds of times, being from across the water in Langley. What does it mean to have the trials here in Victoria?
It means a lot. I'm really familiar with this pool, so I'm really happy it was held here.
So we've got to wait on the selection, but you put yourself in a really good position to hopefully be put onto that team for Singapore this summer. What would it mean to you to be selected for the World Championships?
Honestly, it means a lot. I was really happy with qualifying to Paris last year, and it means a lot to qualify for the Worlds team this year.
Well, congratulations on your performances this week. Fernando Liu, ladies and gentlemen, 4th place overall tonight in the 100 backstroke.
And now we will get set for the medal ceremonies of our para 100 backstroke on the women's and men's program. And after that, we have our final distance events of the evening. I know that's what you're all waiting to watch. Riveting. I'm saying that as a very, very true statement. I love distance swimming. I know not everybody loves distance swimming, but I love distance swimming.
Cathartic?
Yes. Brings me right back. Mary Jibb will take the bronze medal. We said how high these para points were to just get on the podium, and as you can see there, 931 para points from Pacific Seawolves in the S9 category. Mary Jibb. And she was very close to the Canadian record. A couple seconds, excuse me. I was looking at her para points, not at her time. Danielle Doris takes the silver medal. Had a great week so far here. Known more for her 50 butterfly, where she's the world record holder and Paralympic champion. Swims the S7 category. 125.27 here tonight. 943 para points. Will confidently be going to World Champion Para Worlds later this summer. We will find out that team later tonight, so make sure you stay tuned. Katie Cosgriff, the champion, 108.26, a lifetime best time, over 1,000 para points. Definitely one of those names to watch to try to get on the podium at the World Championships this summer. She was on the Paralympic podium last summer. Gaining some experience here. We'll get set for the men's podium finishers.
And a reminder also, after our final events, stick around to find out who will be named to Canada's team for the upcoming World Championships. It's going to be announced also for the Para Championships coming up in Singapore in September. As we go back to the podium here with Nicholas Bennett in third spot with 909 points with his time of 102.40.
Canadian record performance. He's had a couple Canadian records so far this week, so a great meet for Nick. He's confirmed he's going to move to Montreal in the fall to train under his sister, who's recently been named the High Performance Center of Quebec's head coach.
Yeah, he beat his time that he set back in 2022 in Vancouver.
Silver medalist there. You can tell he's in a lot of pain. He's like to focus more on the 50 free, and now he had to do a whole 100 backstroke, but it was a really strong time for him. 1:01 there, silver medalist. But Reed Maxwell will take the gold from Edmonton Keyano Swim Club, just shy of his Canadian record mark. His time is a 1:08 high, so a few tenths off, but 952 para points will win the event for him. Before we start our distance, we're going to go to a quick commercial. And we'll welcome the finalists in the men's 800 freestyle. And there are the finalists in the men's 800-meter freestyle. Important to note, this is a time final event, so we'll be comparing all these athletes with everyone that swam earlier today. There was no prelims or qualifications. It's all about this race, and it's a one and done. Eric Brown will have lane number 4. He's already on the world's roster to swim the 10K open water in Singapore. At the 2023 World Championships, he swam for Canada in the pool and open water. Canadian record still stands from Ryan Cochran. This is his home pool and where his legacy was built. That time is a 7:41.86 set back in 2011.
And we're underway with the men's 800-meter freestyle. Again, it's a 16-length swim, and this has got to all be about your strategy in terms of pacing and when to go for it, and also maybe not getting stuck in the pack and not maybe following your own pacing that you should be.
Yeah, we talked a lot about that on night number 1, so I'm glad you brought that up. Sometimes you automatically assume the person in lane 4 maybe is going a specific time, and so your goal is to stay within range, and then the person in lane 4 doesn't go the time you think they're going to go. So you do have to stay in your own lane to the best of your abilities, swim your own race. Everyone would come in with a strategy they worked on with their coaches based on the training they have been doing. But it's definitely Eric Brown's race to lose in terms of the rest of the field. His personal best time is a 7:56.96, so he has been under the 8-minute mark before. He's entered a little bit above 8 minutes because times expire after 2 years. His best time was set back in 2023 at March in the trials. That's when he qualified to swim this event at Worlds. But he swam it in the pool and open water, which is not an easy feat to do. It is grueling to do open water swimming. I will be the first to admit I never took it on. I'm scared of open water. And the athletes that do it are a whole different breed. And Eric, it usually tends to be a little bit of a hoppier stroke where the athletes are used to having to swim through waves. But Eric actually has a beautiful, very smooth stroke. And we saw him earlier in the 1500. He seemed pretty satisfied with his racing. He was quoted after qualifying for the World Championships in open water saying that he fell a little short of his Olympic goal last year, but this year he's been really working on a lot of things mentally and physically, and he feels really happy to be back where he wants to be. So
yeah, Brown looks like he's opening up almost a 2 body length lead here as we approach the 200 meter wall. He's first to touch. A split of 30-24 and a time of 1:56.57. Vorobiev in lane 3 is number 2 right now at 1:58.97, and in third spot is Aiden Kirk in lane number 6, also under the 2-minute mark, as 3 swimmers are at the 200-meter mark.
So this event actually on the men's program was only introduced to the Olympics back in Tokyo, so it's only been a couple years. And one thing that was definitely a new addition was just similar to the stroke 50s, but you see people really work on this event and find new ways to improve and focus on this event, because you used to go from the 400 all the way up to the 1500, so there was a huge gap in terms of potential. And you almost see an athlete like Eric Brown, he almost looks like he's not sprinting per se, but you have to put effort in through all 16 laps. This race, for someone that swims a 10-kilometer race, is going to feel like it goes by really quickly.
And in that last split, 3 swimmers under the 31-second mark. Oliver Risk and Fonseca making a push there as they turn at the 300-meter wall, with Eric Brown with that healthy lead right now of 3 seconds, maybe 4 almost, as at 2:57.34. In second is 3:01.28 would be Vorobiev. And third right now is Aiden Kirk, still holding that third spot at 3:01.33. What's the level of awareness when you're in lane 6? Lane 3 is far away. Lane 4, you don't really kind of see out of the corner of your eye, or if you take a breath and you can have a little peek, right?
Freestyle is definitely an easier one to be able to test the waters in terms of where people are in the pool. When it comes to a race that's butterfly or maybe breaststroke where you're only looking forward, it is hard. But most of the athletes in a race of this length will be breathing to both sides. If not, I worry about their shoulder pain, because when you only rotate to one side, it is very, very painful. But as Brown, you can see, is only breathing to his right side on this turn, and likely will switch it up on the other side. Most people have a comfortable side. It looks like Brown's is definitely a breathing to the right. But you should have a good idea, especially when it comes to the flip turns. You can take a look, hopefully not move too much to take a look, but you have a good idea where everyone is.
Almost 1.5 seconds under that mark as they now halfway through the men's 800-meter freestyle. 400 meters are in the books, and it's Brown with that lead at 3:58.26 at the wall. And he's going to be touching first here yet again with his new time. Now he's up to 4:28.57, and no signs of slowing down either when you look at the splits at 30.31. Aiden Kirk now in second. It's in lane number 6 at 4:33.82.
Aiden Kirk was a runner-up earlier in the program in the 1500 free, and he did that out of lane number 1. So talk about making the most of an opportunity. It doesn't matter what lane you're in. They're going to give it a go and give it a good race, but he dropped a full 15 seconds off his previous lifetime best, so I think we can expect that he's going to be able to go a lifetime best time here tonight as well.
Eric Brown now at 500 meters, and again under 30.5 with his split, is your leader. at 4:59.06. In second place, Aiden Kirk at 5:04.35, and third place is Hugo Andier at 5:06.42.
And we haven't talked about the standard, the Aqua Ace standard. It's a little bit of a reach for most of these athletes, but I'll let you know what it is just in case. 7:48.66. No men in this heat have been with about 10 seconds of it. But a secondary selection standard is something to consider as well. 7:53.35.
And now with a multi-body length is Eric Brown. And he is going to contend, and he's going to try to challenge for that, as he is definitely determined as he remains steady as he touches the wall with a split time of, again, under 30.5. It's 30.47, very consistent. So he's maintaining his pace and his lead. But how about the split from Aiden Kirk? He's trying to catch up and keep pace essentially with him, as he is in second place now at 6:05.80. And in third is Hugo Janvier at 6:09.02. The fans starting to cheer them on as they have 200 meters or less now to go, 150 to go. That's at 650-meter mark right now in the 800-meter freestyle, with Eric Brown's healthy lead at 6:30.69. Then 6 seconds behind that, Aiden Kirk in second at 6:36. And in third spot is Simon. Now we've got a new player in third, new swimmer is Fonseca in third spot at 6:40.28.
It's turning out to be a great race between Olivier Risk and Simon Fonseca out in lane number 1 and 2. We always say having a close challenger in a distance race, although not very fun for you as the athlete, it brings out the best in each swimmer and it makes you push to that next level.
Down to the final 100 meters as Brown continues to cruise along. The last bit split at 30.63. He's now at 7:01.32 after the 700-meter mark. And he just continues to motor along. He's like a machine in the water. In second place is Aiden Kirk. Third right now is Hugo Janvier. And fourth spot is Francisca.
And looking at his splits, he's going to try to just crack under that 8-minute barrier. It's going to take a 28 on his last 50, but not outwardly impossible here. You can see his legs are starting to pick up. The tempo is sped up for sure. Long reach in his stroke still. This is a good swim.
Again, the Aqua is 7:48.66. Unable to get it, but how about this time for Eric Brown? He touches in at the 8-minute, 8:00.11. And in second place will be Aiden Kirk, who's there all along, 8:06.17. He didn't relinquish that second place spot. And Oliver Risk in lane number 1 at 8:10.41, surpassing Simon Fonseca at 8:10.58. So Risk with a big push at the end to claim the bronze.
And that was a great swim for Risk. I said that duel out in lane number 1 and 2 was going to bring the best out of them, and it definitely did. And then add in Hugo Janvier. Hugo Janvier, yes. I was going to say it's French, so it's going to be Janvier. But he was on the total other end. So those are two athletes that definitely wouldn't have been able to see each other. But Olivier Risk adds to his medal haul here, as he was, it was his first because he was just off the medals. He was fourth in the 1500. So now he gets on the better side of those close touches. Now he is third with a big time drop from his entry time, at least, entered in an 8:15. So great to see that. Aiden Kirk, another 5 seconds off his entry time as well, putting together a solid meet. That should be the end of it. Well, not should. This is our last event, so it would be the end of it for him. But the national champion, about to talk to Chris, Eric Brown, Point Claire Swimming, representing the Florida Gators.
The 800 freestyle tonight, Eric Brown, congratulations on the win. You picked up the distance double, the 8 and the 15, but this summer for you is about the open water. What are you looking forward to about racing open water in Singapore?
It's just really cool to immerse myself in different cultures and kind of just test the waters, open water, just kind of see what these other countries are about. It gives me opportunities to travel, and it's so fun, and I love it so much.
If you could choose between racing in the pool or racing open water, what would you pick? What do you prefer?
I don't know. It's a tough pick. Pool is a little more consistent. You know what's going to happen. But the strategy in open water is really interesting, so I like it for those reasons for sure.
On open water, have you ever had any wildlife encounters while you're out there swimming?
Oh yeah, I've seen plenty of crazy fish, turtles. sharks, all sorts of things, so jellyfish. So it's crazy, but when you're in a big pack, they're not going to come to you, so it's all good.
Congratulations, Eric Brown, and best of luck this summer in Singapore. Open water team for Team Canada.
Well, congratulations on another national championship there for Eric Brown. Talked a lot about his journey through open water, one that I do not want to endeavor through.
You feel like there's fish nibbling at your toes? Is it the?
I can't tell you. I've never done it, but I would. I'm too scared. I'll be the first to admit it.
The depth? Is it the murkiness
Not knowing
of the
what's
water?
underneath me is the scariest part of the whole thing, for sure.
I
But
can
here you
respect
see
that.
our junior finalist in the men's 800-meter freestyle. Aiden Kirk, the runner-up in that event, is in the junior age category. So these athletes will be contested against him, as well as Simon Fonseca, who was just shy of getting on the podium there as well. So those are the times to beat, just around the 8:06 and then the 8:10 mark. But these athletes will be aiming to get there. Aiden Kirk, the only one under the mark this in the previous heat, 8:07.52.
And we're underway with the men's 800-meter freestyle. The juniors, with their 16-length swim underway. Best times in the pool, Zachary Bowie at 8:21.69 and 8:21.75 qualifying time for Jordan Shaper in lane number 5. And right now, the lane number 3 is Jacques Harrison with the early lead, a time of 27.69, a quick opening lap. But again, this is an endurance race, and Aiden Giorfi is in second, 28.03 and 28.09 for third spot with Jordan Shaper.
And if you're wondering, the officials on the opposite end of the pool at the wall, they're the lap counters, so they show you how many laps you have remaining in the race. Ideally, you don't have to look up to see them because the number is above the pool, but the goal there is that you are able to check out if you're a little curious or lost count. But it is defeating when it says 15 because you still got the whole race to go. But soon that'll feel really good to see the number drop down.
It's one less thing to think about. You could just concentrate more on keeping in rhythm, keeping your momentum going, and the counting that you're doing in your head is. Do you have certain pacing? Do you have a song in your head for certain types of races? What is your counter?
Some do, for sure. Some love having music as a part of their routine, and it works well for them. Sometimes I got certain songs stuck in my head. Other times I was just positive affirmations of, okay, you're feeling good. You have a pace you want to hit. You have a rhythm you want to feel. A lot of it is about how the water feels. A lot of it is how you want to build into the race. So some people like to get out and put themselves in a position to be ahead, and other people like to descend it. Other people like to negative split it. So some definitely the song works, but it's a long race to have the same song stuck in your head the entire time. I will say that.
I'm just imagining the Bee Gees staying alive, going.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, the race time's around just over 8 minutes intended for this one. The junior standard 8:07.52. Who knows? We are right now after 200 meters coming up the 250-meter turn. Your leader, Oliver Blanchard, with a time of 1:59.59. Also in the 2-minute mark was Jack Harrison. And Blanchard is now in the lead at 2:30.69 with Harrison in second, 0.3 of a second behind at 2:30.93. Aiden Giorfi is in third spot.
And they would have known this event lineup far out, but it is brutal to have to wait for your main race as the final race of a 6-day competition I'm just eyeing the ready room of the women's 1500, and that's the longest race in the program. And if you've been racing across all 6 days, it is quite something to wait until 7:45, almost 8 p.m. on the final night to have to do your main event. But this is why distance swimmers are a different breed. They're special, and I'm a little bit biased, I will admit, but I will say that it takes a different athlete, a different mentally tough athlete to be able to challenge themselves in a way to put themselves in the hardest events. And there are definitely some hard events for different reasons, because I'm going to get a little bit of hate if I say that the specific long events are the hardest, but there's a different level of hard. There's lactic acid in the 100s and the 200s. The 400 IM, I think, is one of the most challenging events in the program, but you have to put the 8 and the 1500 definitely up when it comes to ranking the toughest.
You have a nap in the afternoon after you qualify for the prelims in the morning, then have a good lunch and then hit the
that's
wrapper.
the routine, exactly that. Luckily, these athletes didn't have to do their events twice, which is great, but typically you would do your prelim, then you'd have a big lunch. You would try to get a nap in. Often when the nerves take over, you can't fall asleep, and that's one of the most frustrating parts. Summer McIntosh actually mentioned this week that she's a pro napper, is what she said. I'm like, you're a pro at many things. You're pretty good across the board, but she did say napping is one of her strengths.
Gold medal.
If you're wondering what else Summer McIntosh is good at, apparently she can fall asleep on command, which makes a lot of her travels and busy lifestyle make sense a little bit.
I would just be the pro eater.
Yes.
Just you got to eat, right?
You do.
We are at the 450-meter turn with Oliver Blanchard still holding on to the lead at 4:35.56. Again, this is the men's 800-meter freestyle. Jacques Harrison is in second place. It looks like he's closed the gap a little bit here at 4:37.60. And in third spot, up in lane number 1, Aiden Giorfi with a time of 4:39.16.
And Blanchard looking very controlled. As you can see, his legs are constantly kicking. It's kind of like a 6-beat kick is what we call it. He's not letting them drop down. He's definitely not allowing them to kind of drift away. Sometimes in the distance races, the legs aren't actually involved as much as they should be. But he's got them involved throughout. He's got a nice bounce to his stroke. He's breathing every 2, getting in a lot of good oxygen. That was a 500-meter turn. So they're already through halfway of this race. They're on what I would consider kind of that final build into the final push. But he's looking really strong, only 15 years old and currently splitting in the range of 30.9 on that 50 specifically. So putting together a really solid swim.
Yeah, it is the junior men's 800-meter freestyle. And Oliver Blanchard again there at 31.34. That split at 5:37.87. So he's actually starting to to pull away a little bit. With second place right now would be still Jacques Harrison at 5:41.82 with his time, and in third, 5:43.30 was Aiden Giorfi. At fourth place at 5:43.54 was Zachary McLeod. So we do have a race for second place underway right now. There's 4 swimmers in that pack. Keep an eye on as we get down now to the last 200 meters of this 800-meter freestyle in the men's division. As now it is opening up a 3 body length lead is your leader, Oliver Blanchard. As you mentioned, it's a 16-year-old year. Did you say he turned 17 maybe already? But 2009 born. And he is consistently getting to the wall first and now starting to pull away. Blanchard at 6:39.92 here after 650 meters. Second place is Jacques Harrison, still at 6:46.52.
And he is approaching what we call music to our ears. It's the bell lap in a distance race where the officials give you that bell sound and you know that you only have 100 remaining. He is way under his lifetime best time. If he can pace anywhere near he's going right now for the last 100, he's going to drop about 15 seconds.
See what he pulls off on this split as he continues to tear up in the men's 800-meter freestyle. He's having himself quite the swim in this race as he's going to be touching the wall here at the 750-meter mark. And his time will come up at 7:41.86 with 50 meters to go. That split at 31.07. He's been so consistent with his splits, and see if he's got a little more left in the tank here as we also have that battle for second, third and fourth place.
And this is the final kick. You can see how much effort he's putting into this final 10 meters. Oliver Blanchard, have yourself a race.
Lungs are burning. And Blanchard will take the men's 800-meter freestyle with a time of 8:10.54. And now for second and third place. In second, it is going to be touching the wall in lane 6. Zachary McLeod at 8:20.76, and then Aiden Georgi at 8:21.56. Zachary Bowie in fourth at 8:21.75. But it relatively stayed the same throughout the entire race in your top three.
And Oliver Blanchard there just dropped 17 seconds from his lifetime best. Phenomenal swim there. That time stood from back in July of 2024, so almost a full year ago. Congratulations on that huge best time. It will rank him within one of the top athletes in the senior age category. Similar to how there was no preliminaries in this event, there was also kind of no seeding. So it was just based on their seed time. They can finish anywhere within the top when it comes to the medals of the senior category and also within the junior category. So really encouraging stuff.
Yeah,
Says he's 15 in the heat sheet, but you're right, he's born in 2009, so that means he can't be 15. He's got to at least be 16. Well, I guess he could be 15, a late birthday. He could be 15.
Could be.
But very young is all we need to know.
That's the bottom line.
Very young.
And now just 3 seconds off the Aqua J, the standard. And how about a 10-second lead over second place? He just didn't let up at all, and he just kept pushing through, and he was untouchable.
I'll tell you, being out in front in a distance race, there is no greater feeling. You know, it's kind of clear water. You can take the confidence, and then you can build it. It is when everyone starts, if you get out too fast and you're not able to hold on to it, and when everyone starts to catch up to you, that is one of the hardest feelings. But when you have clear water and you're just kind of inching away at the rest of the field, truly nothing feels better than that. So congratulations on the lifetime best there for Oliver Blanchard. A huge time drop, and sets himself up to come to the podium shortly. That's for certain. We're just waiting for the rest of the results to kind of do a nice little ad. But he finishes fourth overall, only 1/10 shy of reaching the senior podium, which is phenomenal. And he'll be joined by Aiden Kirk on the junior podium.
Still got 2 years to go before
the
seniors.
for the juniors, so. Yeah. He's a junior now for quite some time. Unlucky for him that Ryan Cochran has the age group record, or else I would say maybe we have to keep an eye on that 15 to 17 mark. Aiden Kirk still would be eligible for that, but Ryan Cochran sets the bar pretty high when it comes to a young athlete trying to grow in the distance events.
Yeah, under 8 minutes, a 7:58.32 for Victoria's Ryan Cochran. Again, waiting the podium. And then we'll have one more event with 2 races to go in the final day of the 2025 Bell Canadian Swimming Trials. And after that, we will find out who is going to go to the World Aquatic Championships and also the Para Championships. And the World Aquatic Championships coming up in Singapore, July 26th to August 3rd. The World Junior Championships are in Romania, and the FISU Games, the World University Games, next month in Berlin.
Yeah, I kind of forget that we're already in the middle of June. When you say next month, it really is only a month away. And I'm like, oh my goodness, middle of July is only a month away. Where did the start of summer go? I guess I've been spending most of it in a swimming pool, so it makes sense that I've lost a bit of track of time.
Well, hopefully you got in some of that sunshine.
Oh,
and
it's
some of that
been
heat.
absolutely beautiful. Victoria, I keep saying, I've always felt comfort in Victoria. We used to come here for swim meets all the time. I used to come train out with Ryan Cochran and Alexa Kormanicki and Hillary Caldwell. We had one of the most historic programs here at Island Swimming under Randy Bennett, and I used to come out here as much as I possibly could to train. So there's definitely a calmness in the energy, and I love the people. I am a city girl through and through, though, so after about a week, I'm always like, where's the hustle, where's the bustle? But stunning. It's been so beautiful all week. I've been walking along the water as much as I possibly can. The mountains are out shining. It's been beautiful.
Feeding the seals at Fisherman's Wharf.
I haven't seen any. I don't think they're here. Unless you
hiding
know
on
where
you.
they are, because I thought that the seals were out all year long, and I was here about a month ago, and there were no seals. And now I'm here this week, no seals again, unless they're hiding from me, which might happen. I saw a few otters, though, so otters make up for it.
We had a famous one here 6 months ago. It just wouldn't leave people alone.
Really?
They come up on the water and they'll molt and they'll shed their skin and they roll around. And one of them was really friendly and was getting close to people. I had to kind of avoid.
You know
them.
what are very friendly? The peacocks. They'll come right up to you. I was eating on a patio the other day and it just came right up to me. So they're nice and friendly, including the animals in Victoria. They're your medalists in the 800 freestyle men. Olivier Risk takes the bronze. Silver medal to Aiden Kirk, and Eric Brown will take the gold medal.
Yeah, Eric Brown with that time of 8:00:11.
And now the junior medalist, Aiden Kirk, can't go too far. Simon Fonseca, the bronze medal there, just representing a camo. What a close finish there, 8:10:58, 8:10:54. There's a time drop for all three of these competitors, so awesome to see. Oliver Blanchard with a 17-second lifetime best time. 15-year-old will take the silver medal, 8:10:54.
Yeah, that 8:06:17. Impressive for the 18-year-old.
Well, congratulations to the top three in the junior men's category. And with that, we'll start to get set for the final women's event of the night, the 1500 free. In the meantime, we have a quick commercial break. And then we'll welcome our finalists.
Hi, Grandma.
Hi, sweetie. I was just thinking about you.
Well, guess who I just ran into?
Who?
Ryan Reyes.
I remember that boy. You were real sweet on him.
Grandma, no one says that anymore.
Well, what would you say?
I don't know. I'm low-key obsessed.
Like he's a hunk?
More like a snack.
Like you're hungry?
More like thirsty.
Sounds like he's the bee's knees.
I love these calls. I literally never know what you're going to say.
And ready to welcome the finalists in the women's 1500 freestyle. And there are the finalists in the women's 1500 meter freestyle. Really anyone's opportunity to grasp here. Emma Finland already qualified for Worlds in open water. Very similar story to Eric Brown. She competed at the Olympic Games last year. What a story it was. She qualified as the final continental qualifier to get her spot in the on the Paris team. And no Canadians swam this very event, the 1500, in the pool. So it's a pretty open opportunity. The Aqua A standard stands at a 16:24.56. The fastest entry, as mentioned, Emma Finland. Her best is 16:28.15.
And we're underway with the women's 1,500 meter freestyle in the senior division. And also keep an eye on Naomi Minot, the youngest in this race, the 2009 born, is 16 years old, in lane number 3 with a time of just under 17 minutes to qualify.
And there will be quite a few just different things to watch throughout this race. We have the secondary selection, which is also something to keep in mind. If the winner is under secondary selection, they will get to be considered momentarily, truly, as we get ready to name that World Championship team. That time stands at a 16:34.41. The junior time as well, you mentioned we have a few youngsters in the mix, so that time is just under 17 minutes. It stands as a 16:58.31. Tori McClensick has had a solid meet so far. She finished 6th at the Olympic trials in this event. She represents Simon Fraser University, and she's swimming in lane 6. But right now, Finland getting them out in front in 4.
Yeah, Minot there. Good start at 103.07 in second, and Peyton Lay at 103.27 is in third. They're trying to pull away a little bit there in lane number 4. To her right is Minot in lane 3 and Peyton Lee in 5. To Finland's left, we'll look at maybe Bailey O'Regan in lane number 8 as we get the side view coming up to see where in 4th spot right now. But as they touch the wall at the 150-meter mark, it's Finland still in first at 135.35. Now Minot second behind her. And in third at 136.83 is Peyton Lay. And now in 4th is in lane number 1, Abigail McLeod, and O'Regan has dropped to 5th. Again, very early on here, though, as we're approaching the 200-meter turn, as we're at the 1,500-meter freestyle.
And Bailey O'Regan has actually swam for Team Canada in the open water events at a World Championship, so she qualified back in 2023. Has some experience swimming under club team Sarasota Sharks, like Summer McIntosh was for the last couple years, and is currently swimming at the University of Stanford.
Now, you mentioned that you did train with Ryan Cochran. What was that experience like? And what did you learn from training with?
It was phenomenal. I mean, when I was growing up, truly, there was no better example set than the distance prowess of Ryan Cochran. I also really enjoyed kind of the program that Randy Bennett had built here. It was really suitable to the type of training I like to do. So it was not only great to have someone in Cochran to learn from and to chase, but I also just thought their approach to training was one of the more challenging but yet realistic kind of systems. And it really built a toughness in me that I don't think I had before. So a few of my club teammates, one of them which is Alexa Kormanicki, who swam the 800 free back in the London 2012 Olympic Games, she had come out here and I had always looked up to her. So it was kind of an easy transition for her, where she thought our coach, Kevin Thorburn, built very similar athletes to what Randy was building. And so Randy took me under his wing for a while, and it was really special to be able to come to national team trips and be able to be in their training group and to learn from all of them and to be challenged by all of them. We were always the first ones in the pool and the last ones to get out. But I've always really admired the legacy that Ryan has left. And every time I'm doing a call on a swim meet, to realize that his Canadian records are not only still standing, but no one's ever really come close. And so just phenomenal how far he's taken the sport when it comes to the distance disciplines, especially in the men's side. It's been really, really cool to watch, and it was such a privilege for me to get to train with him.
Well, you are listening to the voice of the current Canadian senior record holder, is Brittany McLean at 15:57.15. What steps did you have to take to break through to set that record?
Well, it's funny, actually, because the 1,500 didn't used to be, similar to what I was just saying with the 800, the 1,500 didn't used to be an Olympic discipline event. So it wasn't often at our trials. I wouldn't want to say ever, because there may have been a few instances, but it wasn't a qualification event at World Championships. So because of it, we didn't really have anyone that focused on the event. And in my lifetime, long course, I've only swam it less than a handful of times. So the fact that I have that Canadian record is Honestly, just a token to the training and a little bit of that 800 freestyle speed that I can kind of take up to the 15. But I wouldn't say I mastered the race by any means. I would work a lot with my coaches on, building the 500s is something I really like to do. So they're approaching the 500-meter wall right now. This is when I try to take the momentum that I was gaining and then maybe hit the next gear. That was always one of the goals that I would try to aim for. But it was all about really the 800 experience. And it's silly now to say that because it's an Olympic event and you wonder, okay, well, you're the Canadian record holder. You must have swam this, multiple times at every single meet. But I have swam this event long course only a handful of times, and I'm privileged to say I'm the Canadian record holder. I swam a lot of short course yards miles, which are called the 1650, in my collegiate program at the University of Georgia, which Emma Finland's gotten used to right now as a freshman at Ohio State University, but still very, I would say I was a little bit new to the world of the 1500. So it's kind of funny that that record stands. But if Summer wanted to do it, she could take it down in her practice suit any day.
Britt McLean also with a gold medal in modesty there. As we are now a third of the way through this race over at 550 meters. And your leader is Emma Finland. Second place is O'Regan. Third place, Naomi Minot, the youngster, at 6:06:54. As there is a race for second right now and a full body length lead for your leader is Emma Finland. You mentioned with the 1500, you need to have all that endurance. Is there any time on a treadmill that you would spend? How do you get your lungs to expand and just to keep producing the max amount of O2, that you can get and push that into the blood?
Yeah, it's a great question. Honestly, I don't know that many swimmers that are good runners, to be honest. Most of us are kind of water animals and not so great on land. So I wouldn't say there's an overwhelming amount of running. For some, for sure. But I would say it's a lot really just in the pool of constant, longer practices, hitting what we call threshold for as long as possible. So there'd be specific paces. You want to be in kind of that 160 to 180 heart rate for a longer period of times instead of spiking it up for somebody that's, doing maybe a specialty of a 100. They're used to living in smaller sprints of maybe over 200 heart rate, but for us, we're trying to keep ourselves comfortable in that like middle to high zone, which is always great. But it's definitely a challenge, and it's one that most people, you use your time out of the water to build upon for sure. Don't get me wrong. There's always a little bit of what we call dry land training. So some weightlifting and some circuit training, a little bit of cardio, but not a ton of great runners, I'll be honest.
Some plyometrics perhaps as maybe a parallel, the couch to 5 or 10K for those starting to run. You push yourself a bit, then you pull off, and then you just keep extending those times.
Well, it's funny because right when I retired, I thought because I was a distance swimmer, I naturally should become a distance runner. That felt like it was an organic change, and I started with like 10K runs, and everyone's like, no, you have to start with like 1 to 2 kilometers. And with that, I've never run again because my body did not do well. My hips didn't last. My knees did not like me. So I am now a low impact dry land trainer.
Bicycle.
Yes, I do a lot of spinning, but no running for me. And I think I ruined that my first couple months of retirement.
Well, Victoria would suit you well. They've got bike lanes downtown town. They have traffic lights for bikes here.
So nice. It's been amazing. But let's get back to the pool quickly because our leader right now is putting together quite a good swim, 8:46 at the 800-meter mark. We talk about moments that you kind of in your head have little celebrations. That is one of them. Once you hit the 800 mark and you're over it, you're over halfway through this race. It feels amazing to know that you have less than half to go. Definitely getting over the 1,000 is another one of those hurdles to know, okay, I'm over that double-digit number, triple-digit. But, yeah, I think from here on out, you're kind of keeping an eye on the time, the lap counters. I was going to say the clock, but I hope you're not keeping an eye on the clock because it would cause you to have to look all the way up in the other direction. But, yeah, you're keeping an eye on the lap counters, knowing where you're at in your stroke, wanting to build into each. You can see Emma, not surprising that she's strong in open water because very limited on the legs and really nice from an upper body perspective, has a nice bounce to her stroke. Not uncommon to see with athletes that have to swim against the waves.
Yeah, her last time at 9:19 is Emma Finland, and lane number 4 is your current leader. Coming up to the 900-meter mark with O'Regan in second, but it is Emma Finland on the turn at 900 meters with a time of 9:53.19 and a healthy lead. As in at second is Bailey O'Regan at 10:03.35. She has a 9-second, almost 10-second lead, does Emma Finland at this juncture. And in third spot, 10:06.25, 3 seconds behind O'Regan. That would be Tori McClensick in lane number 6.
And Bailey O'Regan is still, when she went out quite fast in the outside lane, you often have to keep an eye on if they're going to be able to hold it on, but she looks really strong. Also using that open water experience, having swam on the national team before, but also keep an eye out on Abigail McLeod on the top lane. Another one of our youngsters, only 15 years old, swimming in a big final. Will be really cool to try to see her get under that 16-minute mark. That World Junior time, as mentioned, a 16:58.31.
Well, there is a wave pool right attached here, the next pool over, if they do want to go and train in there against the waves.
That is true. That is true. I don't think I've ever seen the wave pool actually wave. Does it wave? Does it move?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
There's some big waves.
Oh.
It gets beeping. And
I've seen the slide active, but I've never seen the waves going.
The waves, right now they or else you hear this beeping noise. And then the kids scream, and it gets loud in here. It's like, and then the waves will start pounding. It's pretty fun. Kids love it here at the Commonwealth Pool here in Victoria. So now, looking at your leader, Emma Finland at 11:34.69 at the 1050-meter mark. In second, 11:45.95 is still Bailey O'Regan. In third is Tori McClensick, so that's unchanged at 11:47.77. 11:48 time for Abigail McLeod out in lane number 1. So now we're coming up to the 1100-meter mark. After that, there'll be 400 meters to go. And if you are lagging in behind, is this where you start thinking you need to start elevating, you need to start breaking out and start pushing a bit more?
Well, I think at this point in the race, no matter what, you're in pain. I'll be honest. You could be going to best time, or you could be adding a minute, and you're still hurting. So I think the real key is to stay as mentally tough as possible, to know that you're almost there. The last 400, I always used to think back to my training. How many times did I have to push off for another 400 hard? We do countless hours and hours of work to get to moments like this. So I would just use that to get a little dig deeper, the slightest bit, to get myself through this final push. Because no matter what, your body's almost, not that it's numb, but it's almost in so much pain it feels numb. You are putting in everything you have into a race this long, and you just need those little mental reminders that you can do this. You've trained hard for it. You're capable of great things. And those are just a few of the things I'd remind myself. But speaking of, Emma Finland is dropping down in her splits. So her last 250s were 33 mid, where before that she was a 34 high. So I think she's picked up to her next gear, knowing that she's going to be kind of close to the standard. So she's very strategic with her racing, already on the World Championship team. So that A standard is a 16:24, but the secondary selection is a 16:34. And right now she's well under that pace to be able to get under that time.
She is your current leader, Emma Finland, in lane number 4. The time of 13:15.05, and she has a 13-second lead on Tori McClensick, who has made a move from third into second spot. Bailey O'Regan in at third right now, and Abigail McLeod up in fourth with a time of 13:30.22 after the 1200 mark. But Emma Finland now past 12:50, and that time.
And Emma Finland competed, like I said, in the open water at the Paris Olympic Games. And that was in the very famous Seine River, which was probably one of the biggest conversations of all of the Paris Olympic Games. So it took a whole different breed to be able to compete in that. I always say open water is hard, but open water in the Seine River was a whole other level. She finished 24th in the 10K at the Olympic Games. I'd say that's a pretty big success.
Having quite the swim here in day number 6 at the 2025 Bell Canadian Swimming Trials with that massive lead. And it's a battle for second, third, and fourth, as we're finding out, as Tori McClensick in second. The last time at the wall, 14:35 and 14:37 for Bailey O'Regan. Right behind, 2 seconds. And 1 second behind her in fourth is Abigail McLeod. in lane number 1.
And for Finland, I said it in the 8 and I'll say it again, she will get that bell lap. It is music to an athlete's ears. It is the best feeling in the world knowing you only have 2 more laps to go in an event that is grueling, over 16 minutes. Finland, like I said, pacing under that secondary qualification standard. So as long as she touches first and gets under that time, it actually is going to be closer than I thought it's going to be, though. So they've got to get behind her.
A great crowd starting to elevate. They're starting to wave on the sidelines. They are cheering her on. This excellent time for Emma Finland in lane number 4 in top spot at 15:29.03. Second place, Tori McClensick, 15:43. Third place, Bailey O'Regan right now in lane number 8 at 15:45.32. Abigail McLeod in lane number 1 at 15:46 at the 1,400 meter mark. But here it is, Emma Finland.
Oh, and after going for 16 minutes, she's going to be just off the standard, which is so unfortunate. But Emma, dig as deep as possible here. 25 meters to go for Emma Finland, the current leader and soon-to-be national champion.
All the hard work paying off. Such a big lead, and she's down to the final few meters. It is Emma Finland with a great swim here and a time of 16:34, 86.4 over the secondary standard. Trying to gauge her reaction in the pool when she sees the time, and now touching the wall. Second is Tori McClensick, a solid swim at 16:48.39. Bailey O'Regan at 16:50.11 is in third. And Abigail McLeod at 16:51.54 has now finished, as well as the rest of the pack make their way in here in the women's 1,500 meter freestyle.
So other than our champion, none of the rest of that heat had been under 17 minutes. And none of the rest of our medalists at least had been under 17 minutes. And a lot of them just dropped a good amount of time. Outside smokes for Bailey O'Regan and Abigail McLeod, finishing really quick there. Bailey O'Regan in a 31:44. Good drop in her lifetime best. Congratulations to all the participants. But like you said, that is so close for Emma Finland. Just 4/10 from adding that event to her program. But she will focus solely on open water when it comes to the World Championships this summer. She tonight will be your national champion.
A 13.5-second lead over Tori McClensick for Emma Finland. And we will hear from Finland momentarily if she has any breath left from Chris Heinmark Watson. Incredible swim. The Aqua A time 16:24.56. The secondary at 16:34.41, and she was at 16:34.86. Let's hear
in
from
the 1,500. Still one more heat to come. Our junior heat's going to come out next, but Emma, a 16:34 here tonight, just off what you were hoping to go, I'm sure. But you're on the open water team heading to Singapore. What are you looking forward to about that 10K next month?
I think the techniques are super cool and just seeing how everyone else approaches the race.
So coming off of Paris last summer, we got to swim in the Seine. What do you like? It's going to be very different, obviously, in Singapore. What are you sort of looking forward to in terms of the differences?
I think it's super different if you're in an ocean or a lake, so I think it'll be a lot less wavy, hopefully an easier race.
Well, congratulations on your swim here tonight. Emma Finland on the team for Singapore in the 10K open water.
The lane ropes are there to stop the waves between the lanes as well. So if you have a really old lane rope or the lane ropes are too loose, you see that there's a lot of wake in the pool, and that's not ideal. So, yeah, I think this pool has everything it needs to be successful.
Commonwealth Pool in Greater Victoria. In the capital, let's look at our leaderboard after 650 meters is Isabella Cooper in top spot at 7:18:20. 2 seconds behind in second place is Maya Thomas at 7:20:61, and third spot is Ellie Wise at 7:20:78. But they're still all together, but trying to pull away is Isabella Cooper. They're in lane number 6. Fourth spot, as they're coming up to touch the wall, is that the gap has really widened. They were hot out of the gate, those three. And now at 8:05:13 is Annabelle Turcotte in lane number 8. She has your fourth spot. Now, you mentioned the coach talking to you about the psychology of it, but how important is having consistency with the coach, someone you trust, someone that you've built with? I know you mentioned earlier this week that Summer McIntosh now has a couple years with the same coach to build on.
Well, she did up until this year. So she worked in Sarasota with Brent Arkey for quite some time and then actually made a switch just a couple months ago, and obviously something working well. So I think even though coaching is really important, I think it really is about the mental side of it as well. For example, if you're in a program you trust, it doesn't matter if you were with the coach for a month or 10 years. If you're feeling good about the program you're doing and you have the understanding that you're moving in the right direction, then I always say to athletes too, whether they decide to, whatever program they decide to go to for university, whatever they decide to go to for their club team, you can sometimes be a really big fish in a small pond or a really small fish in a big pond. But if you trust the program you're in, that's how you're going to be successful. You can be successful anywhere. It's all about really leaning in on the preparation side, understanding, asking the right questions I always find, because often you just go about your business every day, but the coaches are there to support you and to cater a unique experience for everyone, even though you can't think that the same thing that works well for Summer works well for everyone else in the heat. And so they usually build a program based on a generalized idea, and then you kind of have slight adjustments that work well for you as an individual. And so I always used to ask my coaches, it's not like showing up to the pool every day and saying, why am I doing this? But it is about, okay, well, this practice, what am I working on today? Or what am I supposed to be feeling in this moment? Or I'm really fatigued on Thursday this week. What can I do to be less fatigued by midweek and work into the rest of the weekend? So I always say to swimmers, talk to your coaches about what you're working on, ask the questions, be involved in your own program instead of just going about the motions.
Watching video.
Yes, absolutely. Watching video is another great way to get better.
All right, we'll look at the lead as Isabella Cooper in lane 5. With a time of 10:10:16, a 3-second lead on a second place Ellie Wise at 10:13:75. At 10:16:13, 3 seconds behind that is Maya Thomas. As those three are leading the pack, but will anybody catch Isabella Cooper in this one, as we are now approaching the 1,000-meter mark? It's another one of those hurdles, as you mentioned. With 500 meters to go, is this what the race will end up being? Or will we have somebody start the push here, maybe in another 200 meters or so for the big finale?
I love the way Isabella Cooper is swimming this race. You can tell she is putting an effort with every 50. It's by no means getting into a rhythm. She is putting effort forth with every stroke. You can see breathing over to her left, making sure she's not letting the rest of the field get too close. She was splitting about 33 highs, and now she's up to the 34 mids. So might be feeling it a little bit here, but she doesn't have too much farther to go. So solid swimming there out of lane number 5 from the Lakeshore Swim Club, Isabella Cooper.
Well, we heard from Emma Finland, and I thought she'd be a little more out of breath in her interview, but she still had just incredible. She wasn't huffing and puffing after, doing the 1,500 meter, but what would be a good way to cool down? I think recovery is pretty big, especially after a long race like this.
Yes, and it's hard to end on this because once you get late in the night, a lot of athletes just want to say, I don't want to warm down, it's my last race. but you can feel that like weeks later, truly, if it's this long of a race. Summer mentioned it actually in their 800 because she set a world record the day after her 800 free, and everyone thought, well, you did one of your longest races. Are you not still fatigued? But she actually said she recovered better from the longer one because it was a different kind of muscle group. She wasn't as filled with that lactic acid, like I mentioned. So it was easier for her to cool down because her kind of heart rate and her was leading the way. So it's easy to cool down your heart rate, but your body and that pain is a little bit different. So that part I thought was kind of interesting. I never really looked at it that way, but I do agree that it is about warming down, but it's kind of a different cool down. Your body is not locked up the same way it is after like a stroke 200. But exactly what you mentioned, it's more about the aerobic base. It's a lot of huffing and puffing and a lot of replenishing with electrolytes and food afterwards. A lot of athletes will do either like a cold tub or they like a massage or a good warm down. But on the last day of the meet, a lot of them are about to sit on a plane for 5 hours, either tomorrow or later tonight maybe even. So you do really want to just get a little bit loosened up. And warming down is such a key part of this sport, and it's such a key part about having a busy program. If you're swimming multiple events across 6 days, that's really the gain of success, right? It's all about building within each day, really understanding that it's a process. It's not just getting on the blocks every day and doing the hard work leading up here. It was just one step, but you have to show up and understand that the work's not done after one race, and that's what Summer McIntosh did so well throughout the week this week.
Yeah, we do not have a change in the top three with Isabella Cooper after 1,200 meters, 300 to go. In first at 13:38, in second place at 13:42. A 4-second lead is Ellie Wise, and at third, touching the wall now, is Mia Thomas at 13:50.54. And it'll be in fourth place in lane number 3 will be Cora Petninsky. And actually make that Annabelle Turcotte. Then Cora Petninsky, and then 6th is Zoe Tamori. The amount of calories I'm sure that need to be consumed. What was the most you've ever had to intake?
It's kind of like an odd I totally hear it, but it's also a bit of an odd question because it's like, ideally as athletes we aren't counting our calories necessarily, but it is really about finding the foods that work well for you, especially in a race like this. It is a lot to do with just finding what foods work. For example, you don't want to fill up on a ton of food right before a race, but you want to figure out what sits well for you. I loved having like a specific bar that I really enjoyed, or I loved like a banana and peanut butter before a practice because you didn't want a full heavy meal right before a practice, but you do need to fuel yourself. So it's all about finding what works for you. I would say a lot, Summer said that throughout the week, is that replenishing food has been huge, and that was one of the, I asked my followers on Instagram today, because I'm going to get to chat with some of the athletes tomorrow. I asked what are we curious about from these World Championship team members, and a lot of them said, what are they eating? I feel like that's genuine curiosity. Honestly, it's nothing crazy. Hopefully after the meet tonight they'll have a meal that they look forward to and enjoy. Often it's a pizza or a burger or something like that, but throughout the meet I always say a lot of people love to carb load, so a lot of pastas, but I always like to balance between protein, carb, and veggie fruit. So as long as my plate, whether that was a sandwich or that was kind of like a chicken and rice combo, like nothing too heavy, but definitely clean foods, because what you put into your body really does make a difference when it comes down to it.
Last thing you want to do is feel bloated there in the water, but you want those dense, rich nutrients, sometimes nuts, oatmeal.
Absolutely. Okay, the final 100, the Bell Lap, our final 100 meters here at these swim trials. What a meet it has been. And like we said, don't go anywhere. We will be naming very shortly the Para World Championship team and the World Championship roster momentarily.
Down 1,400-meter leader, Isabella Cooper, 15:57. In second place is Ellie Wise, 16:01. At 16:12 is Maya Thomas in lane 6. As you're in third spot. Now 50 meters to go for Isabella Cooper at 16:32.21. Touching in second place, Ellie Wise at 16:35.
Oh, and making a little bit of a final push here, Ellie Wise in lane number 4. Look at the legs.
Close it down to a 3-second lead, and she's trying to close in and making for a fun finish, one that Isabella Cooper's been leading the entire time. Ellie Wise, though, trying to catch, and then what a finish here we have. To the wall first is Isabella Cooper in lane 5 at 17:06.04. And Ellie Wise in second place, 17:07.04, exactly 1 second behind your winner, Isabella Cooper. Mia Thomas touches in third at 17:20.08.
And Isabella Cooper there dropped 13 seconds from her entry time. So what a great swim for her. Another lifetime best there for Ellie Wise from Cascade Swim Club. She drops just a little above 9 seconds, so a solid effort there. Final swimmers coming into the wall now. And with that, our last race of these trials is officially complete. We have one more podium celebration to enjoy, and then we'll get set for our awards of the meet, as well as the Para World Championship roster is going to be the first one announced. Results are now official of that final 1500 on the junior side.
Well, you can mention your Instagram account if you want. You can get more questions because you
yeah,
are going to
please.
interview.
If you do, I'm at Brit_Mac3. If you just Google my name as well, Instagram, it should come up. But yes, I have a little question box there. So if you have questions for the athletes, please let me know. I'm going to try to get to as many of the. I'm looking for, I call it like, these aren't sit down necessarily long form, but just like the little curiosities. In the summer at the Paris Olympic Games, I actually had a series I started called Brit's Brain, and it was anything that I thought was interesting or I got curious about. I thought at least one person at home is probably curious too. So my goal was to just share those like the questions like, what do people eat? I have been asking about I asked Summer today, what is the treat you had last night? And she answered with a really good slice of chocolate cake. And I said, a lot of people can probably relate to that. So these are the little things people want to know. The process of shaving down has been one of the greatest curiosities across the board. So yes, feel free to drop any questions you have for the athletes. And I'll do what I can to get as many of those answered for you on the episode of The Ready Room by next week. But we are getting to our final podium celebrations of the evening right now. First, we'll have the senior women's 400 freestyle. 400. 1,500 freestyle. They probably wish it was a 400.
Sure do. Yeah, Emma Finland. What a race at 16:34.86. Tori McClensick at 16:48. In your women's senior 1,500 meter final, Bailey O'Regan swam hard to get a 16:50.11. Always in the hunt in this one. Was in third for most of the race.
Yeah, and a personal best for her, as it was for Tori. Silver medal representing the Dorval Swim Club and Simon Fraser University. 16:48.39 lifetime best to get a silver medal here. Moving up from her 4th place finish at Olympic trials last year.
And there is your winner, Emma Finland. 16:34, as mentioned, 86 in the 1,500 meter freestyle women. Took over the lead and didn't relinquish it. A 13.5 second lead over the next competitor in at second. And there's your photo at the podium.
And the final medals of the championships, it will be the junior podium in the women's 1,500 freestyle. They deserve it after all these laps, 30 laps to be exact, to end the meet off. Bronze medalist, Naomi Minot, the youngster from the A final 17:06.14. Winskill Dolphins have 2 on the podium. I bet that distance group is something special. And the silver medalist representing Lakeshore, Isabella Cooper, 17:06.04. Only 1/10 of a second in a 1500 free. That's a fingernail, not even.
Yeah. You look on video, they look like they touch at the same time.
And the gold medalist, the only under that junior qualification time, Abigail McLeod, time of 16:51 at 54. A huge drop for her. Also representing the Winskill Dolphins Swim Club.
Final podium here at the 2025 Bell Canadian Swimming Trials. And coming up, announcement who will make and who will represent at the 2025 World Aquatic Championships and also the Para Championships in Singapore, which I understand, I think we're going to hear the team for the Para first.
Yes, we are. But we do have an opportunity now, so I was thinking we should probably give our Bell performance of the day. For me, the Bell performance of the day has to go to Elia Haroon, the 50 fly Canadian record in 22:68. Close runner-up, though, for Antoine Sauvé because that B final win was unbelievable. But to me, to get the top time in the world this year, Elia Haroon has my vote for the Bell performance of the day. What about you?
Yeah, 8th all time. I was really impressed with Antoine Sauvé with his men 200-meter freestyle record. And Nick Bennett, Canadian para record men's the 100-meter backstroke was up there for me as one of the highlights here tonight.
It was absolutely such a highlight. We've been so privileged with multiple Canadian records every single night. There hasn't been a single night we haven't seen at least a couple Canadian record performances. So really good stuff out of the entire national team. Speaking of, we are just hearing that they're marshaling the athletes. So I know this is definitely, those of you that are still on the stream waiting to hear who is going to be announced to the national team. Most of you have been through this once or twice and know that there is often a delay. Tonight we are not going to wait too long because the lists are final, the teams have been decided, and the athletes are starting to marshal. With that, we're first going to, I believe, award our swimmers of the meet. So there's a swimmer of the meet category for the para women, the para men, and then the Olympic discipline on the women's side and the Olympic discipline on the men's side. So they're just marshaling those awards. Well, Marlon, I'll throw it to you just with an overall. What was you got to know swimming this week. What was your highlight of the week? I know you weren't here every night, but does it get you? Are you going to come back?
Most definitely. It was opening night, sitting in and then watching Summer
world
McIntosh
record. Yeah.
Just take, was it the
400, the 400
meter.
freestyle, yeah.
It just, at first you thought, well, she's just going to slow down. She's just off to this great start, and she just kept getting faster and faster, and everybody's eyes started widening, and then the cheers and just how loud the building was and how packed it was and the energy, and just to see something that special in my own backyard, that doesn't happen very often. So definitely won't forget that, and it was just the beginning of a big week.
Yeah, that sure was phenomenal. Well, they're getting set to announce our swimmer of the meet, like I mentioned. The first award will go to the para women. And scoring over 1,000 para points, to be exact, 1,015 points with her 50 butterfly finish, Danielle Doris. Her time was a 34:23, and that earned her the para women's swimmer of the meet. I love it when the swimmers are always like, should I smile or do I get to go?
Where do I look? Yeah.
Where do I look? Hi, Mom and Dad.
Beautiful looking trophy.
It is really nice. And Danielle Doris, a world record holder in that very event. So talk about setting standards in this sport. Nick Bennett, another world record holder.
Yeah, still some fans from the island.
Absolutely. Nick's para point total was 1,030 points in his 200 IM. Not quite his world record mark, but he was only 0.4 of a second above the world record. He will be the para men swimmer of the meet.
Paris Paralympics multi-medalist. It's going to be a major factor at the Para Championships.
Your Olympic women's program swimmer of the meet with her world record for
Just as we just finished referencing Summer McIntosh's 400-meter freestyle, and she is the swimmer of the meet for the Olympic women. That time of 3:54.18.
No surprises there with that one. Over 1,000 FINA points as well, which makes sense when you break a world record. But that's the swim that actually got her the most points, was the swim that you got to witness here in person on night number 1.
Isn't there a picture of you on your Instagram with a young Summer McIntosh?
Yes. I surprised her with it when I interviewed her last week. It was so fun. And there are Olympic men's swimmer of the meet, Ilya Haroun, for his 100 and his 50 butterfly. Ironically, exactly the same FINA point total, so 946 points in both. I thought they were just throwing both in there because they're both good swims, but it was because they tied for the exact highest FINA point performance on the Olympic men's program side. So congratulations, Ilya.
Fastest world time this year in that 50-meter butterfly tonight, and that record.
A new trophy for him to take home.
What's on your trophy? What's on your mantle?
Oh, I would say, so funny enough, I was just going to say it about Ilya, but when they're in the NCAA program, you get a trophy for every top 8. So somebody like him that swims multiple events at every meet, you get all these trophies from 4 years of collegiate swimming. So I call it in my parents' basement, and I call it my dad's shrine. My sister was also an Olympic swimmer. So between the two of us, it's only us two. So my dad has kind of his sport basement. Wow. I think he always wondered what it would be like to have boys, and then he had 2 girls that both were Olympic athletes. So he found a way to still enjoy the sport moments within our family, for sure.
Those medals must add up. You must have boxes.
Yeah. Well, the Olympic medals and those big ones, often athletes are bringing them out to like speaking engagements or just for kids to get to hold, and they're often on the silliest plate. Like most Olympians that you ask, where are your medals? They're usually in like a sock drawer or something silly like that, and the other things are on display, but unlikely that their Olympic medals are on display because they usually pull them out for different things. So it's a little silly, but with that, we are getting set to announce the para program for the Para World Championships. And these will be the athletes that are representing Team Canada this summer. The Para World Swimming Championships are happening also in Singapore, just about a month after, or almost 2 months after, when the World Aquatics Championships are happening in Singapore. It's at the same facility, though. They will be taking place September 21st through 27th in Singapore. Have you ever been to Singapore? Negative. What a place to visit. It'll be really cool for all these athletes to get to swim I've only been once, and it was on my first national team, actually. So we went there for a training camp. So hopefully Swimming Canada has a good pool they know they can come to for training. We've been there before. May have been, I'm aging myself, but about 15 years ago.
Did you leave enough time for excursions?
Unfortunately, usually it's all about focusing on the task at hand, which is training. So I actually did not get to explore a ton. I did go to a few different monuments, but definitely not a ton. Mm-hmm. Not as much as I would have liked to. But that's what the job is.
Yeah.
You're there for a reason.
We're going to announce the team here shortly.
Oh, since we told everyone to submit their questions, I've got a few come in, so it did work. Shout out to the people still listening. We appreciate you. And we are just hearing in the stadium a final thank you to all the volunteers. So we will echo that on the stream. Very grateful for all the people that make an event like this happen. And we are set to announce the team for the World Para Championship. We're going to try to take the in-stadium announcement for the names, but if the audio is a struggle, we might chat over it. We'll try to stay quiet so you can hear all the names as they get announced. Danielle Doris. James LaRue. And Nicholas Bennett alongside his sister as his coach, Haley Bennett Osborne. And there is multi-time Canadian record holder Reed Maxwell. Ariana Hunsaker. Allison Gobey. Jack Gill alongside his coach, Peter Carpenter. Ali Deal. Shelby Newkirk, who isn't here actually because she was at classification, but named to the team. Mary Jibb and Sebastian Masabi. Emma Van Dyck. And there is Katie Cosgriff and Alec Elliott. Ali Tripp and Nicola Guy Turbide. Ali Van Wicksmart. Jordan Tucker. And last but not least, Fernando Liu. That is your Para World Championship roster for later this summer in Singapore. And for anybody on the stream that didn't know, the Oilers just won in overtime.
I did see an Oilers jersey here tonight.
Yes, there are a few on the pool deck.
There are some dedicated
Canadian delegation for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been long enough since the Cup's been in Canada.
Wow, the series is tied at 2 games. OT? Oh, that must have been a thriller. Oilers fans biting their nails. Don't want to be down 3-1 in Florida that game as well.
2-2 now.
The series just back.
You can talk hockey. It's okay. We all care about it. We all care about it.
It's just in my wheelhouse.
Absolutely. Now they're just announcing the coaching staff. And as we clap for them, I'll repeat that in case you didn't get it fully clear. Haley Bennett Osborne, Peter Carpenter, Jai Lawrence, Oliver Renault, and Dave Tontini. The team coaches for this year's World Para Swimming Championships in Singapore. And that is your Team Canada.
A great shot. Panorama view. Still light outside a little bit. I heard that it caused a bit of problems with the ceiling, with the windows above during the day, with the light reflection and the
Definitely
camera.
in backstroke for sure. If you ever have a ceiling that's a little bit wonky, you can sometimes get a little distracted, that's for sure. And they will gather together for a team picture. Again, congratulations. There's the veterans in Danny Doris. You've also got Nick Turbide, that's been on the team for quite some time. A growing star in Reed Maxwell, Fernando Liu, Katie Cosgriff, Ali Van Wicksmart, and then some that are newer to the team, Allison Gobey. We also saw some phenomenal performances this week out of Jack Gill and Ali Deal. So great for them to qualify for the team. Like I said, Jordan Tucker may have been my personal favorite. Another veteran, Alec Elliott, who's been on the roster for 3 Paralympic Games cycles. And of course, Abby Tripp as well, international medalist. Big smiles there for Team Canada. And there they are.
Yeah, up next, the 2025 World Aquatic Championships team, who will be representing, as they give themselves a little bit of time here with this announcement as they do try to, scour over and figure out who will be put on the team. They have lots to choose from.
Yeah, and hopefully what we just did worked well, but we'll let the in-stadium announcement go, and then we'll kind of come over it with our added touch to make sure you know which athletes are coming up on the screen. I will tell you, because I am privy to the list, there are 1 or 2 names discretionary added, so you might be learning along with the rest of us. Excited to see alongside with you who will be representing Canada at the World Championships in Singapore. That event will, I know we've said it a few times, but it will be taking place July 27th to August 3rd. At the World Aquatics Championships as well, diving as well as artistic swimming, water polo, high diving, it all happens at the same championships. So they'll be a part of a greater Team Canada. They're competing for podium performances. It's also the first Worlds of a new Olympic cycle, which is also kind of a really amazing opportunity to see where you're at as a nation. And then when you have an athlete like Summer McIntosh that's globally created some waves, it's something special. And we are ready to announce the World Aquatic Championship roster. They're hiding. If you didn't know, I think Kylie's first.
There is Kylie Moss. All smiles. Congratulations.
And Penny Alexiak had to get on a flight home already, but she is officially named to the team. And Philip Sank-Samarczyk, Ilya Haroun, and Taylor Ruck, all swimming right now at the Arizona State University. Coached by Herbie Boehm, who's standing right behind. Mary Sophie Harvey from Camo. Alexandre Lepage and Mike Blondell. Oliver Dawson and his dad. You see the resemblance? I sure do. Oliver Dawson, the breaststroke winner in the 50 through the 200. Brooklyn Doothright. And Ella Jansen, both swimming at the University of Tennessee. Ella Cosgrove adds her name to the list on a relay spot. Sophie Angus, High Performance Center, Ontario, as is Madison Krieger, making her first senior national team. Ethan Eck won multiple events this week. Eric Brown and Josh Liendo.
Kind of weak did Josh have?
He was strong. He's struggling with a few things with his health, actually, but he still qualified for the team. Lauren Wigginton. Antoine Sauvé. Cole Pratt, back on the national team after a couple of years of injury. And Ingrid Wilm. Blake Tierney. Finley Knox. And their coach, Scott Talbot. And Summer McIntosh. Ruslan Gaziev. Sienna Ango. Emma Finland. Tristan Jankovic. Wow, a solid Ohio State University contingent here. Sorry, we ended there. I missed one, didn't I? Oh, Jordy Vilches. Apologies, Jordy Vilches. And their college coach, Norm Wright, following behind them. And that's it. So that is the final list. We're going to hear the coaches now. Well, as they gather on the podium for team pictures, I'll repeat that coaching list. Greg Arkhurst, Mike Blondell, Linda Kiefer, Ryan Millette, Scott Talbot, and Alex Dawson. So the center coaches, Ryan Millette from High Performance Center, Ontario, Scott Talbot, High Performance Center, Vancouver. We have Greg Arkhurst, who coaches at Camo for Mary Sophie Harvey, Linda Kiefer from the University of Toronto, Mike Blondell from the University of Calgary, and Alex Dawson from the Grand Prairie Piranhas, coach of his son, Oliver Dawson. So some with a lot of national experience, international experience, and others just gaining some this summer, which will be great.
Yeah, great experience for them and start building.
Well, we will watch the screen to gather this team together for the World Championships this summer. What a thrill it's been to get to call these races. Thanks for stepping in tonight. You were phenomenal. We appreciate your efforts.
I appreciate that. Thanks for having me on board. And any last hot takes? Anything going in?
I always have a lot of hot takes. I'm really excited about this Canadian team. I think we have a really good mix of youth and experience. I think the post-Olympic year, there's always a bit of a new wave of athletes that are making their first team, which is great. They'll have a ton of experience in Singapore this summer. But now the Canadian swimmers are not just going to meets to compete. They're going to meets to reach podiums. They're going to meets to set records. They're going to meets to compete against the best in the world. So congratulations to all the athletes that are getting named, whether it's your first time or your fifth time. Have fun this summer. We'll be cheering you on. We will be, we can't wait to cover it all. Here I know at Swimming Canada and CBC Sports. We're looking forward to keeping up with all the action and seeing what everyone in that team is capable of doing.
Big waves. Yeah, Canada's pool swimming been on a smashing streak. They've won, a breakout 6 medals in Rio 2016. They matched that with 6 at Tokyo 2020 and then 8 at Paris 2024. And looks like they are just getting warmed up. I'd like to thank all the volunteers, the technical staff, production crew, and also for the Commonwealth Pool for hosting us as we sign off. From Victoria, BC, this has been the 2025 Bell Canadian Swimming Trials. Good night.
Good night. Thanks for joining.
Swimming Canada would like to thank our partners. Natation Canada tient à remercier ses partenaires. The Government of Canada, le gouvernement du Canada. Speedo, your trusted swim partner from your first splash through every stroke. Speedo, votre partenaire de natation de confiance, de votre premier saut dans l'eau à chaque traction. Bell for Better and all the ways it gives back to communities and sport across Canada. Mieux pour tous et toutes les façons dont Bell redonne aux communautés et au sport dans tout le Canada. Chicken Farmers of Canada, proud supporter and official protein of Swimming Canada. Les producteurs de poulets du Canada, fiers partisans et protéines officielles de Natation Canada.